It is Monday, July 21st. Almost said 31st. Not quite there yet. July 21st. I am Brian Ralph. You may notice that I am not Greg Waddell. That is Dion Hillford, not Carter Elliott. Start your week with us. I know we're not sleepers. What Dion? What should me and Riley be called? Are we like the nappers, the
I do think
wakers?
I do believe we redeemed the Nappers a few weeks ago when they league aspects of things.
Happy Nappers Monday, Sleepers Media. We are here. We are very excited. Dion, how was your weekend?
It was good. I obviously recording on a Friday, so I'm gonna speak also into advance. Poirier Holloway is my only thing I'm doing this weekend. I'm not a huge UFC guy anymore. I used to be. So beating Dustin's final fight, like that's one of the few like times in the last few years that I've been really excited for a UFC fight, and it's a whole lot doing nothing, which I haven't had the ability to do in a long time. So that just that ability to like reset a little bit this weekend is dope. What about yourself?
I'm getting back into the UFC. I was really in it when it was kind of at its peak, right? Ronda Rousey, Conor McGregor faded off as the stars have kind of gone. Derek Lewis brought me back in like 2 weekends ago. Big Derek Lewis guy.
I feel like that
Love that.
happens a lot with Derek Lewis, though. And then
Yes.
you just won't see anything about Derek Lewis for a long time. Just
No.
be right back out on the UFC again.
Yeah, no, weekend was good. I soloed, parented for a while. Wife had a baby shower that she went to, so I got the kids to a birthday party on Saturday, and we survived and advanced. You know, we survived in advance. Junk food was had, takeout, fun time. That's, fun weekend with dad.
Massive junk food guy. Massive
Oh
junk
yeah.
food.
Yeah, we're pizza
Oh,
consumed, hamburgers, hot dogs, cheese quesadillas. Just the works, the works.
I'm excited for your kids. I'm a little jealous.
Had a great time. It's also a big day. Daughter starts first grade today, and I know it's very early to go back to school. We had a conversation on this for recording. The way they do things in Knightdale, North Carolina, both public and private schools are all year round. It's not the case when I was going to school. But so she started today, finished up 6 weeks of summer. She'll do 9 weeks on and 3 weeks off. So we're getting back into our routine on this Monday, which is very much needed after a week of her being at home without camps. Very much needed to get back in the routine. It's also why all my travel got packed into a narrow time frame.
Yeah, I mean, Ralph was just simply going to foreign countries in like a 3-day window.
Exactly. I don't have the 3 month window. We just got a couple of weeks. Got to get stuff done here before we're back on our schedule. But no, big day this Monday in the Ralph household. But let's get into some before we get into comments, Leon. Do I have to? You and I are big college football 26 players. How are we doing so far?
Yeah, so honestly, this kind of flows into the YouTube comments, so I'm going to combine the two. So Greg Guard, Silent Assassin asked, he said, "What is the guy on the left streaming on when this starts?" He also told me to never diss his Badgers again. I don't remember doing that. It does sound like something I would do though, so I'll own that. Definitely sounds like something I would do. The plan at the moment is to stream directly to the YouTube channel. You're watching this on Monday. I said I would start on Friday. You're probably wondering why I did not start. It's not that easy to stream directly to the YouTube channel from your Xbox. So I'm coming up with some contingencies. That's part of how I spent my last weekend doing. And I'm hopeful that in the beginning of this week, I'll begin streaming College Football 26. I've begun playing the game to figure some things out. I was ruled academically ineligible multiple times. And I was also kicked out of a school on my first character. That is probably
How do you get kicked out of a school? Just flunking out, or were you breaking team rules?
me and James Franklin didn't get along. He subsequently told me to go to the portal. I told him I was already going to the portal. He didn't need to tell me that.
Can't
Um,
fire me. I quit.
Yeah. He just completely took me out the depth chart midway through the season, and it didn't say QB 1, 2, or 3, where it just said QB. I wasn't allowed to go into the games. The games just simulated fully. Practice was like I was allowed to practice, but I never gained coach trust. Um, it
No
got to the point
way.
where I went to class and James Franklin got upset, which is backwards. This would have been great content, by the way. So I probably should have waited for the stream to work the kinks out. But then, yeah, I went to Utah, had a good time, and then immediately got ruled academically ineligible. So, um, yeah, we're working some kinks out on the game. I'm having a good time on it. I'm having a lot of fun. I made a new character. New character sick.
So, first off, we need to try and recreate you getting kicked out of a school on the stream, just for the memes. What I know we're figuring out the streaming. What is the content plan? What are we doing? Are we dynastying it? Are we road to glorying it? Combo? What are we looking like?
Honestly, a little bit of everything. A little bit of everything. I mean, I'm definitely gonna have a road to glory. I do individually. I would love to live stream a lot of like the Discord games we play too.
Yes.
I think that would be a lot of fun, especially for like some of the members of the Discord dynasty, and hopefully it attracts some people to want to join the Discord dynasty as well. I did back out of Tristan's quadruple elimination tournament, where I want to let everyone know I never lost. Actually, I lost one game total on College Football 25 to a Discord opponent. One game total in the amount of times we had it. Total, I was a 4 seed. What are we talking about? I mean, what are we talking about?
Yeah,
So
I can confirm. You and I played 4 or 5 times. I think I lost total in the Discord Dynasty to other users 4, 5, 6 times, and you were 4 or 5 of those.
yeah, I was a 4 seed. Tristan said it was randomized. I didn't respect the decision to randomize it. I should have been a 1 seed. You randomize everything else. You start with the king, and then you best not miss. Um, I also just didn't have time to plan it, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah,
Me and Glenn, it took us a week to figure out a time where we could play. And by the time we got to the time where we could play, I was tired. I wanted to go to sleep. So if I'm being completely honest, that's really what happened. I like my narrative though of I was disrespected because I've now put a chip on my shoulder for the dynasty. I've chosen Ole Miss. Game on.
very Cam Boozer move of you. Oh, you're doing the SEC too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No one's running for me this year. There was a
No
lot of
fear.
people that was like, "Oh, I don't want to be in the Big Ten. He's there. I'll go to the ACC, SEC." Nah. If you want to use the best teams on the game, come get some.
That's not a shot at me using South Carolina, is it?
Well, that's not one of the best teams on the game, team.
Can't wait to cheese Nick Harbor again. Oh man, well, I'm very excited for that. Yes, and good plug for the Discord as well. Make sure you join the Discord. It's a great way to support us and what we do at Sleepers Media. Also, I got a fun way to interact with us. Got things like Dynasty to join. I think there are a couple open spots left too.
I
I
believe
don't.
so.
If there's enough. I'm sure we may do a promotion relegation one. But join the Discord, join the Dynasty. Be a lot of fun. Let's get into the YouTube comments.
The YouTube comment was the Greg Gard silent
Sorry,
assassin.
the Discord comments. I forgot. Yes, because I was going to talk about Wisconsin as a leg to stand on. You throw shade at them. What are they coming back with?
I actually don't remember what I said about them. If I'm
But
being
like,
completely
what are they going to come back with? We consistently finish fifth.
Yeah, I don't even know
Ooh,
what to say about them. I do know Illinois fans are really upset. I didn't know they were like a really good academic institution, I guess.
I
I
do
get
think there is a Discord comment about that.
okay, good. Good. But like, I mean, Terrence Shannon Jr. didn't get into Michigan. That was my whole point. Anyway, um, I'm gonna start with all hail the Pope. By the way, Discord, join the Discord. You get all your comments read. There was a lot of noise I heard during the NBA draft about me not reading all the comments. I want everyone to know I did that by design. I did that by design. I wasn't not including comments. I was saving the ones about Greg and Carter for Greg and Carter. That's all I was doing.
That's
Nice
high level.
guy,
That's high level thinking. That's high level thinking.
nice guy move. That's all it was. But anyway, we'll start with All Hail the Pope. I don't remember where they left off, but this feels like a point where like maybe this one gets read twice, but
Yeah.
If it doesn't, this would be the starting point. One argument against Purdue is who will be their NBA first round pick. I think you need one of those to win the championship. Also, who is their year two transfer that will take a leap?
I think there's a scenario where Braden Smith plays himself into being a back end of the first round pick, but that's probably Purdue's only shot at that.
Oh no, highly disagree. Highly disagree. The first round pick's a guy that ain't on campus yet.
I think he's a first round pick in the 2027 draft.
Teams are gonna fall in love with him. Teams are gonna fall in love with him.
I don't
His
think he's gonna
style
have the
play,
I
his
don't think he's gonna have the
style.
opportunity to do a whole lot of stuff, or
So that's
like showcase his full game.
That's where I disagree. I've been on this wave the whole time. I think they are going to play a very Warriors brand of basketball. I think they're going to take the ball out of Braden Smith's hands in the initial action, which will allow Omer. I think I learned how to pronounce it, by the way, Purdue fans. Let me know if I didn't. Where they're going to allow Omer to kind of handle the rock and showcase what he can do, while Braden also, the action is being ran for Braden to where he's still doing what Braden does.
I would be fascinated to see how that works because Matt Painter knows more about basketball than I do, and I'm not I don't have doubts about like Purdue being good. I am interested to see how he tries to maximize everybody because there's some overlapping skill sets. I just think it's fascinating. It's been one of those like basketball junkie things. Like I want to see how it works.
Yeah. I mean, I think if obviously this isn't like player for player, pound for pound, but if Omer plays the Draymond role, initiating the action,
Is he
Braden plays
kicking
the
people in
Steph
the nuts
role,
too?
Braden plays the Steph role where the action is for him, and then Fletcher's the one where it's like, please don't leave him. I think everybody leaves incredibly happy
Yeah.
with that. I think Braden still gets the ball as much as he wants, and he gets to showcase for Braden to do what you're saying. He can't play the way he did last year. And I think everybody knows that. And I think it allows Braden to showcase to the NBA what he wasn't able to last year in terms of his off ball presence, his ability to score off one dribble drives, his ability to play one on one and not just run pick and roll the whole game essentially. And I think that's what the NBA wants to see from Braden. And ironically enough, I think it actually allows them to get two first round picks.
Counterpoint. Just had this thought. NBA hates small guards now. Jacobson gets healthy, becomes an awesome defender. He goes first round.
I could see if Jacobson's issue is going to be opportunity with Clough
Right.
being there, but Jacobson, I think Jacobson and Omer both have all the tools in the world to be first round picks and will be one day.
Yeah.
I think Jacobson's the one that's a first round pick in 27. I think Omer's I do believe he's, I guess, a one and done.
All right. Cool.
Um, and then we got All Hail the Pope again. Saw Yelovich will be on campus end of August. What is his ceiling and floor?
um, Flores, he's not there very long, meaning a transfer. I think ceiling is a high quality contributor. I think there's a wide range of outcomes.
Yeah, so is he slated to play on this team in your eyes?
Not much.
Yeah, same. I don't understand all the discourse around him. I don't see how he's going to get in the rotation.
Yeah.
That would be his ceiling and floor for me, by the way, just not playing because I just
Yeah.
think that's going to happen.
Ceiling is National Player of the Year. Floor is not playing a transfer out.
Ceiling doesn't play, floor still won't play. Oh, let me do it again. Let me do it. Let me do it again. Kentucky's a very good team, by the way. I don't want Kentucky fans to be mad at me. Ceiling works really hard in practice. Floor doesn't work really hard in practice. Just snacky. Maybe you guys talked about this and I missed it, but what do you think about Hummer getting up to 244 pounds and Brad claimed that he had the best off season out of the team? That's my dog, by the way. Hum Rizzy.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't love that we're at 244 pounds as a shooter, but I love that we're just winning stuff. It doesn't need to be games as a Humrizy guy. Like it doesn't need to be championships, but we won something already and we haven't even had our season yet. So now what I want is for him to go get the rest of his eligibility that I found for him last offseason.
Do you remember what the conversation was about Hummer last offseason?
Same thing.
Yep.
Yeah, consistency. That's what you want in life.
Didn't work great.
Yeah, consistent though.
I don't give trophies for off-season fodder. Next comment, please.
They do if we also win our eligibility arbitration next offseason. Just or war tran. Lots of conversation. Okay, here we go. Lots of conversation about the academics of Illinois and Michigan recently on the show. There really wasn't, by the way. I want to be the first one to say that. It was about a 5 minute thing. Um, Both schools are top 20 and very similar academically. Both schools had similar hurdles for TSJ in terms of enrolling. The difference was Illinois accepted some Texas Tech credits that Michigan wouldn't. The path to TSJ going to Michigan was taking summer classes at Texas Tech that Texas Tech wouldn't pay for, meaning no scholarship. Michigan was only accepting TSJ as a graduate transfer that pushed TSJ to Illinois. Listen, sounds like he got into one school and not the other.
Correct.
That's all I said. I actually asked, by the way, Illinois fans. I literally said, is Illinois a good school academically? Cart said he didn't know. I said, how would I know? I couldn't get into either. And then I said, well, TSJ only got into one. That's all I said.
I think the fact that neither of us knows, but we both know that Michigan is a really good school,
Yes.
is probably telling in and of itself, or that Illinois needs to be smarter about the way it brands its academics.
Agreed. Agreed. I will say this. I've heard a lot of people say I went to Michigan. I've never heard somebody say hey, I went to Illinois.
That is
I
true.
am in California, though, to be fair.
Some of that though deals with just the attitude of Michigan fans, but I digress. Love you, Greg.
I will say this. If the argument from Illinois fans was like, hey, we get where, like, we get what you mean. Michigan fans are like incredibly arrogant. That's why you know about Michigan and you don't know about us. I would agree with them.
That's yeah. That would be an avid argument.
100% would agree with them. 100%. Um, all hail the Pope. Can we see you in your romper next week, G, for his show? I'm
Make
gonna
it happen.
speak.
Make it happen, G.
I'm gonna speak for G. I don't think the romper happens on the show prior to the concert. All hail the Pope again. Is Braden Smith just another Hunter Dickinson that he may never actually be in the top three for Player of the Year, but every preseason talks like he is? Or no, they talk like he is. Excuse me.
No, because Braden Smith contributes to winning.
I was gonna say Braden Smith won't be top three in Player of the Year because of what he's doing and what's around him, not because he didn't actually perform as a top three player in the country.
I would agree with that. Hunter Dickinson was a very good player, not a great player. Braden Smith's a great player who has a great chance to break the NCAA all-time assist record this season.
He Hunter Dickinson didn't live up to expectations. Braden Smith
No.
would. That's the difference. If Braden Smith lives up to expectations and doesn't get a top three player of the year, that means Purdue's really good. Really
Yes.
good. Last comment. Brightstar Jones. My daughter was reading a book about volcanoes and got me thinking, have you ever been to a volcano? Humble brag, I've been to two. Quick story, then I'll pass it to you, Ralph. Costa Rica, we get in something that was taking us to our resort. It was kind of a van. It kind of wasn't. It was just I've never really experienced the vehicle we were in before. Guy starts driving us. And I realized we weren't going the quickest route to this resort. And I realized we're about to get a tour that I didn't ask for. And I really just wanted to get to the resort. I wanted the all inclusivity and I wanted a drink in my hand.
Yes.
We start going on said tour. He goes, if you look to your right, there's two volcanoes. Me and my buddy go, cool, probably haven't exploded in a long time. He goes, yeah, we just had an explosion 2 weeks ago. I said, why are we driving by them then? I mean, what are we talking about?
What's the appeal of a volcano versus a mountain? The danger of you potentially, it potentially erupting.
Yeah, that's what that, yeah, eruption. I had no interest. And then he goes, "Oh, don't worry, like the eruptions that happen like aren't dangerous." Excuse me? I'm from California. We don't do volcanoes. Anything that erupts is dangerous.
We all know what happened in Pompeii. We all, we all know what happened. Don't tell me they're not dangerous. And no, I have never been to a volcano. If I have, I didn't know because I thought it was a mountain. I don't
Crazy,
know.
crazy. You want to let us know who we're sponsored by?
We are sponsored by the good folks at 2K Labs, who also started a CFB Labs for College Football 26. Great place to go for all your tips on NBA 2K, all your tips on College Football 26. Seen a couple of shorts from them pop up in my timeline on Twitter as well. Very helpful. I don't know if they'll help me beat Dion, but we're going to try. Make out check out the good folks at 2K Labs, CFB Labs as well. Let's get in the episode, Dion.
Today's video is sponsored by LabCorp On Demand. Car, be honest with me, my friend. Have you ever had your testosterone levels checked?
No, I always figured I didn't need to unless something felt seriously wrong.
Well, that's the thing. Low testosterone doesn't always hit you like a truck. It creeps up on you through things like low energy, brain fog, irritability, trouble sleeping, weight gain, and even low libido. And I know you struggle with most of those things, but most guys just chalk that up to stress or getting older.
So you're saying it's actually possible something's off and we just don't know it?
That's exactly what I'm saying. And that's why I love what today's video sponsor, LabCorp On Demand, is doing. With their men's health tests, you can get a comprehensive look at your hormone levels, including total testosterone, without even going to the doctor. All you have to do is purchase your test, provide a sample at a LabCorp service center, and your sample will be collected using the same methods as your doctor. No need to even prick your own finger.
Wait. So there's no doctor's appointments at all.
No, you can purchase the test directly from LabCorp On Demand. Plus, testing is performed at LabCorp's CAP accredited CLIA certified clinical laboratories, the same kind used by doctors, processing about 3 million samples every week. That way, you know you're getting real, accurate results.
So that's all good and well, but how fast do the results actually come in?
As early as the next day, you'll get an email when they're ready, and you can view them online through your LabCorp patient account. The results are super easy to read. And if something requires urgent attention, LabCorp may even contact you by phone.
Man, I didn't even realize how much testosterone levels can affect stuff like mood, focus, and energy, and no one really talks about it unless it's extreme.
I know, but even subtle changes can impact your day-to-day life. And getting tested now can help you catch issues before they become bigger problems, especially if you're in your 30s or 40s and starting to feel off.
Man, so if someone who's been feeling more tired than usual or just not quite themselves, this could be the check-in that you need.
Definitely. And right now, you can get 20% off your men's health test by visiting our sponsor at tryelco.com/sleepersmedia. It's simple, affordable, and honestly, kind of empowering to have this info about your body.
Take the guesswork out of your health and go check it out.
Topic one, we're going to pretend like we're talking in the year 2030. We've looked back at the last 5 years. Who would you rather be for the next 5 years? We're going to pick this or that. A classic game of would you rather this or that, whatever you want to call it. We're picking one of the two options. I have 7 different choices that we're going to make, Dion, between two basketball programs. We're looking at this from a strictly basketball standpoint for the next 5 years, which program you would rather be. We're going to start with a lead in from the Discord comments. Would you rather be Michigan or Illinois for the next 5 years?
Academically or in terms of athletically?
Academics is what matters for the Big Ten.
Listen, I've been told they're very equal academically, so I would probably prefer academically to be Illinois. It's a little easier to get into, it seems like, a little bit more accepting of other schools. Um, nah, seriously, I mean, all jokes aside, obviously, I would next 5 years probably rather be Michigan. It just seems like they're funneling more resources into it at the moment.
Mhm.
That could obviously change, but based upon what we know, I would probably rather be Michigan at the moment. But I enjoy Illinois fans more than I enjoy Michigan fans, so I don't like having to say that.
I do enjoy Illinois fans as well. I have an Illinois shirt. I do not have a Michigan shirt. I would pick Michigan, and I would pick Michigan for Dusty May.
Yeah.
I think there's a real chance that in 5 years we've talked about him winning a national championship and being one of the top 3 coaches in the sport.
I mean, they spent what, like $10 million on this roster.
Yeah, and if you are a versatile big man who can handle the ball, you're going to Michigan
Yeah.
to play Danny Wolf role, to play the Yaxel Landenberg role. Like I've talked about, I think Yaxel's going to be better than Danny Wolf.
I mean, I hope so.
I very much like they got a pipeline there. I think the way they're recruiting now too, they've amped up the recruiting efforts as well. I think I'd rather be Michigan.
And I mean this as respectfully as possible, both to Danny and Yaxel. If Yaxel turned down going to the league to not be better than the 28th overall pick, It's a rough season for Michigan, I would say.
Next up, BYU or Kentucky?
Ooh, oh man,
I would rather be Kentucky.
I actually don't know the answer to that.
I would rather be Kentucky because, and this, I'm going to go worst case scenario. Let's say Mark Pope does not work out. I have all of Kentucky's history and tradition to fall back on and resources that have been there forever. If things don't work out with Bansa this year at BYU, Kevin Young's tenure starts to go south, I don't think BYU has anything to really fall back on. They have this new chest of money that's been given to them, but I think that's very Kevin Young dependent. I don't know if that's still there if this like if it shows it doesn't work.
I would agree with that. I do believe I would rather be Kentucky because I think the floor is higher. I think in a bare minimum sense of it, like Mark Pope's, you're looking at like a Sweet 16 appearance almost every year, right? And contending
Yeah.
for the SEC, so on and so forth. I do think BYU's floor could be lower. I think the ceilings of the teams are very equal, though. I think Kevin Young can put together a program at BYU that's similar to the program at Kentucky on a year-to-year basis.
Yeah.
But year over year, Kentucky will have more success.
Yeah, like they both can be Final Four contenders, both can be national title
Absolutely.
contenders. It wouldn't surprise either of us to see them in a Final Four matchup this year, right? And I would expect that to be the same for the next 5 years. At the same time, I trust Kentucky to like maintain a level more than I trust BYU to maintain a level.
I was gonna say sneaky. I've been very high on Kentucky, probably the highest of anybody on the channel, maybe besides yourself this year. But I mean, I have them third.
Mhm.
At the same time, like, is BYU actually worse? Like, probably not. Probably
Not
not.
much,
Yeah,
particularly
and
if the Bansa hits. Not much.
yeah, especially with Rob Wright too. If Rob
Yeah,
Wright is truly a lotto pick next year, like he's being like framed to be, I mean, that means you have two
done.
lotto picks. I'm not sure Kentucky. Oh, Kentucky has JQ, but outside JQ, I'm not sure Kentucky has a second person.
We'll take it away. Top five pick. Duh.
In what, the second round?
Up next, the last two national champions. Would you rather be Yukon or Florida in the next
Yukon,
5 years?
and the jig is up.
Really?
I listen, Xavier and Lee, man. Like, I gotta see it. I'm sorry, I gotta see it. I don't
Yeah,
care
but
what he.
I'm not. Xavier Lee, I don't think has to work for Florida to be awesome this year because I think Boogie Flan is going to be awesome with the front court that's the best in the country.
Oh, I don't know if I
They were
go
the
that.
best in the country last year, and they brought all four back.
Yeah, other teams got stuff too now.
I'd rather be Yukon too.
I, I'd much rather be UConn. I think
Part
Florida's.
of
Okay,
good.
you can,
Part of it is I don't know if Todd Golden's there all 5 years.
that's fair. North Carolina job seemingly will open at some point. I also think Florida's path to a natty was special, really hard to replicate.
Very hard to replicate. Correct.
Really.
I trust UConn to continue to build a sustainable monster more than I trust Florida to build a sustainable monster. Not that Florida can't win another natty in the next 5 years. Again, just from a sustainability standpoint, UConn has shown it. Florida's trying to show it. Talked about North Carolina. They're in the next one. Would you rather be Michigan State or North Carolina? Two coaches with questions about their future. Izzo just being a retirement thing. Hubert Davis being a competency thing, but both historic programs. Would you rather be Michigan State or North Carolina?
Michigan State.
Why?
We have to go based off what North Carolina has. I have assumptions about who will be the coach 2 years from now that I think would change my answer. But what if they don't get him?
I'm going to go with North Carolina because even if Hubert is around and does Hubert things, Hubert's been there 4 years. He's made a title game. He's won the ACC and gotten a 1 seed.
Don't.
This roster, I think, is a pretty good roster. There's going to be ups and downs with Hubert for certain, but the highs are going to be high. And Michigan State, I don't like this roster. that Michigan State has. Even if Cohen Carr is awesome, as we both expect him to be. We talked about this in a short on Friday. That's up on the channel, so make sure you check that out. Even if he's a top 20 pick, a lottery pick, I don't know if I love this Michigan State roster, and I don't know like what they're replenishing it with. Like to me, the immediate future of Michigan State basketball looks like a program that would need to go through, even if there's a coaching change, like or not a coaching change, a year or two of a revamp to get back to where Michigan State likes to be. I don't think UNC is in a position where even if they go through a coaching change, there's that kind of turnaround necessary.
I mean, I think that's exactly where Michigan State wants you to be at with them, though. And when you get to that point, they go on and win the Big Ten regular season like they did last year.
That would check out.
So that's
That would
why I
check
would go
out.
with Michigan State because
Okay.
they just figure it out. Hubert flash in the pan that 1 year, sick. Um, if it's still Hubert for 5 years, there's no discussion. The idea behind like the two programs is the assumption it's not Hubert for the next 5 years.
Yeah, that's fair. We'll stay ACC Big Ten. Duke or Purdue?
Duke, Duke.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love paint. Very very high on Purdue this year. Uh, the ceiling on Purdue is Shire's floor.
I think I'm with Duke as well.
Yeah.
Like it feels like Shire is just starting to scratch the surface of this monster that Duke can be.
Yeah. That I also want to say that one wasn't the fairest comparison to Purdue. I'm be honest, because like I think what Paint does at Purdue is more impressive than what Shire's done at Duke. But at the same time, it's like Shire's done everything Paint's done
Yeah,
in 3 years that Paint's done in his whole career, just because he's at Duke.
I'm looking at them though, like moving forward, I think Purdue has elevated itself to being one of the elite programs in the country right now.
I agree with
Right.
that.
So, like, who's more successful in the next 5 years? Who would you rather be? While Payne is in his prime, he's got Purdue at its peak, and Shire is, doing what he's doing with Duke.
I would I agree to an extent. I still think it's probably harder to get guys to Purdue than it would be to get them to Duke. And I think that's why I would go Duke very
Yeah,
easily.
that's fair.
Um, and I just think that's not to say Purdue can't win a national championship in the next 5 years. I think they probably win one this year, at least on paper. So, I mean, can Duke get one if in the next four, if Purdue gets one this year? I don't know. But I just think the floor on Shire is like making an Elite Eight. Um,
Yeah.
that's a pretty good year at Purdue.
Sticking with ACC Big Ten, Indiana or Louisville?
Oh, Louisville, Louisville.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pat Kelsey's building something. That's not to say DeVries, whatever. Everybody trashes me for how I say his name, whatever his name is.
You
My
don't
old
you don't you
coach.
don't care anymore.
Yeah, it's not to say he won't. He's a great coach. Pat Kelsey is more polarizing. Uh, the way DeVries is going to do it is quieter. Kelsey's going to do it loud, and when you do things loud, your floor is a little higher than when you do things quiet.
I think I would take Louisville as well, but I think Indiana is like on the verge of being as good as they've been since the peak Tom Crean years. And I think it's going to be more sustainable than Crean had it at. Like I think DeVries is going to be awesome at Indiana,
Yeah,
but Kelsey's got a 1 year head start. There's a little bit more proof of concept too. I think
it's
with
Mike
Kelsey over
Brown.
DeVries. Yeah, that helps. That
The-
helps.
Once you get one 5 star that is like a top 3 to 5 pick, the rest normally come.
Yeah, Alabama or Auburn?
Mm, neither. No, I'm just kidding. Probably Bama. I think Bama has a lot more resources than Auburn has for all their sports, to be honest with you. I think Kalen DeBur is either going to figure it out or be fired. And either way, some of the resources that I believe were taken from basketball, put into football, will be funneled back to basketball in the next year or two. Um,
Yeah.
and with no resources in comparison to the resources he had previously, I still think Nate Oates has a better team this year than Auburn.
I'll be very interested to see how both these programs do or look when Nate Oates and Bruce Pearl are not leading them. Whenever that is, it might be in Alabama's case, it might be in 30 years. It might be in two. Auburn's case, it might be 3 months before Bruce Pearl takes a, you know, seat with the government, different things, goes on a, Senate run or what have you that he's flirted with. But I think I would take Bama. Bruce Pearl is awesome, and I think I would take Auburn over Bama from the last 5 years. But the next 5 years, I trust Nate Oates if he stays at Bama to keep that thing going. And even if they have to replace Nate Oates, I trust them to replace him with a higher caliber of coach than I trust Auburn to replace Bruce Pearl with.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective of it too. I guess it's more likely Nate Oates isn't there across the 5 years than it would be Pearl.
Pearl, Pearl's in his 60s.
Yeah.
And so Pearl, I think, is a sneaky retirement guy. And also sneaky, I'm leaving to go run for office.
Tommy Tuberville.
Yeah, he has not been shy about his political takes. One last one on the fly here. West Virginia or South Carolina?
Yeah, we're talking basketball.
Yeah.
West Virginia. No comment when it comes to football.
Sure. I'd probably take West Virginia basketball as well.
Yeah. Shout out, I think, is it Ross Hodge?
Mm-hmm.
Just want to let him know we are allowed to recruit the 2026 class. It is okay for us to do that.
Hey, Lamont Paris was National Coach of the Year conversation 2 years ago, man. And
Was it,
Michi's back. The secret sauce. The secret
is
sauce
that
is there in
uh,
Columbia.
is that first person you named? Is that you guys' coach?
Lamont Paris, yes.
Does anybody else know that besides you?
People should. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Let's move on. Topic 2, we're talking NBA Summer League, both topic 2 and topic 3. Wrapped up over the weekend, Dion. So no better time to look at the biggest winners from Summer League. Who are some of your biggest winners?
I think the biggest winner of summer league so far is probably Jace.
He's up. He's on my list. He's up there.
And Kaishan George from the Wizards.
Yeah.
Uh,
One thing with Jay say, he won. No one's talking about his height anymore.
yeah, I do. I said this on a short. This is basically college basketball. Like this is basically the Big Ten. Like this isn't the NBA to me. Um, and I do think that plays a role. Like Jace was the most summer league ready prospect I think that went into the draft. The question marks others had, I don't necessarily have. I understand them though. I think that's the big difference between myself and others is I do understand the height fears. I understand the athleticism fears. I understand the positional fears. I understand every box. I'm also understanding of the other side where it's like this is the most skilled prospect maybe in the draft. Good basketball players are going to end up being good. Um, but I definitely understand all the fears. He's done nothing that to make me change my mind on the fears, and he's done nothing I didn't expect because, like, again, name. I asked this to Cart. You can't name me 5 dudes he's played against.
Can't.
It's a
Can't.
problem. It's a problem.
We may get into that a little bit later. I I went with Carter Bryant as my biggest winner.
Flugasi.
I think to me, he got drafted based on what you thought he could be.
Hmm.
And I think Summer League, he really showed what he can be. He's obviously not a finished product yet, but the defense that he showed, the athleticism, the plays he made with his athleticism, the defense that he played, like there to me, there's much more reason to think he can be his ceiling after Summer League than even there was after college.
Right.
And so like all the clips that were going on social media, there's a very real possibility that like the Spurs are trotting out a lineup in 3 years of De'Aaron Fox, Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, Carter Bryant, Victor Wembanyama, and you're not scoring on that team.
Yeah,
Putting
De'Aaron,
up like early 2000s era scores where the final is 80 something to 70 because you just can't score.
I don't think De'Aaron Fox and one of Castle or Bryant will be on that team, but I do get in the hypothetical sense of it, where it's like
Yes.
that's a great roster.
Yeah.
I think his defense is incredibly Fugazi, incredibly Fugazi. I think a lot of what he did was after he got cooked. And it was like a chase down block after you got cooked. A
You got to
steal.
recover that though. You got to recover from that.
Yeah, so the reason I say it's Fugazi is again, name me five dudes he was going against. You get cooked by Devin
Cool.
Booker. Yeah, cool. Yeah. We'll get into him in a little bit. Yeah, you get cooked by Devin Booker, and it's a foul or a bucket or both. And I saw a lot of his recovery is special. Are you going to have time to recover against the NBA dudes? And I would have, he was picking guys up 94 feet, but after about 18 feet, they were in front of
He's got to get more disciplined. Like that's just part of the growth. But he showed things that you can't teach and like abilities that you can't teach, which he got drafted on the idea that he could do those things, but he hadn't shown them yet. And he showed them.
him. I
So
will
to
say, if
me,
I
that
was
had him as a big winner.
Spurs fan, I'd be very excited that he did what he did. Don't get me wrong. I'm
Yes.
just looking at it from a analytical perspective. There was a lot of stuff where I'm like, that was a sick block. Why did he beat you that easily?
I also went with Hansen Yang as a big winner.
Yeah.
When he got drafted, everyone was like F grade, WTF. Now it's like was one of the most fun guys to watch in summer league. It was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought he was good. I thought he was good.
You could argue, he's going to be a good NBA player or not. He's a very good summer league player.
Yeah, no, I thought he was good. I mean, I think he is probably going to be a pretty good NBA player. Some of the skills he showed are next level stuff.
Yeah,
Um, I will say this. I think it speaks volumes on the draft class. I,
it
I
may.
think I think it speaks incredible volumes on the draft class, but that's again something we'll get into in a future segment that we're about to do. Um, I had one last winner, and I hate that all my winners aren't guys that were in this class necessarily.
Okay.
Um, Bronny, I thought,
Bronny showed some game.
yeah, I thought the flashes Bronny showed was okay. Like
Yeah.
he has the athleticism, genetics of his father. He can shoot the rock. And respectfully to Carter Bryant, I thought Bronny was the best perimeter defender that was out there.
All right.
And the reason I feel that way is because we're not talking about a lot of highlight Bronny plays on defense because you just couldn't do anything against him. It's kind of
That's
like the
fair.
Darrell Revis. Like he didn't have a lot of interceptions. You weren't passing his way either.
It's a good point. I want to give Nate Clifford a shout out here as well. He was awesome for the Kings. And I got to shout out the Hornets too, man. I don't get to shout out my Hornets very often. 4-0. All your draft picks played well. All four of them. Khan had some great games. McNeely is averaging over like 8 boards a game, 8.5 boards a game. He was awesome. Kalkbrenner was the defensive anchor. You kind of drafted him to be or showed that. He had a game-winning block in one of the games. Sion played really well. Like, to me, this was the first time that I can remember being a Hornets fan that drafted guys that made sense and then they went out and contributed in a way that translated.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. I'm a big proponent of the if you won Summer League, probably lost.
You know who else is undefeated as of
Who's
this
that?
recording? The Thunder.
Yeah. Again, if you won Summer League, you probably lost. How good were the Thunder previous Thunder Summer League team? Do you know?
I do not know.
I don't
But they're
either.
the
Because this
champs.
one, what?
They're the champs.
Yeah, but what my point was is like this Thunder Summer League roster doesn't really have anybody that's going to play.
No,
Uh,
no.
the previous,
I
okay.
I'm just gonna go with the fact that winners win, and we finally won.
Nikola Topic can hoop.
He
That's
can.
somebody. He is somebody, and he is something where it's like, okay, the Thunder are just going to keep reloading. But I'm curious if the previous Thunder teams that made up the championship roster had the same level of success as the roster that just has a bunch of guys fighting for their NBA life.
My guess is no. And if they did, they got shut down pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
Yeah,
the best genuine summer league rosters, and we'll get into it in the next segment. You don't actually see them in summer league.
yeah. Let's get to that next topic. Talking losers. So we've been over winners. Who are your biggest summer league losers?
I have a few. Probably my biggest summer league loser is Dalton Connect. I mean, what are we talking about, man? Like, you were
Yeah.
a month into last season, he was the rookie of the year favorite, or maybe 2 months after Jeremy McCain got hurt, I guess.
Mhm.
Um, Fell off a cliff, got traded, then didn't get traded, and then like was in the rotation, then wasn't in the rotation, and he had an opportunity not just to showcase something to the Lakers, but like boost your trade value to so where you could actually be traded this time. Um, and I just feel like he did absolutely nothing.
Confidence is shot for
Yeah.
him. Confidence is shot. The biggest one to me, he had some good games. Um, but the one thing we're going to remember from Summer League is the poster that Furphy put Noah Singay on. That makes you a loser in my mind.
Yeah, that was a big yeah. Bulls fans have to just be happy he jumped. I guess.
Oh my goodness.
I guess my other big loser player wise, or there's two of them. It was Coop and Ace. I thought Coop looked pretty good the second game. He's clearly going to struggle getting his own look though.
I disagree. Like
Okay.
I think growth has to happen, right? Growth has to happen. But Coop did so many things, does so many things well, and did so many things well. And like, yeah, he wasn't perfect or didn't look as polished as he did in college, all that stuff. Still had that 30-point game,
Yeah.
right? Playing bad.
Yeah.
I think that bodes pretty well for him.
Yeah, I just think say because Ace did too, by the way. Now, granted, I think Ace has struggled to get his own look for a long time, and that's why I was out on Ace, like from a very early perspective. But I was a bit hopeful with NBA spacing, and I guess he technically didn't have that yet. You would see a little growth in it, and we didn't. Um, but I just thought those two struggled to get their own looks again against essentially college opponents, right?
Yeah.
And this was kind of your time to flex your muscle one last time before you are the low man on the totem pole again, and you have to work your way back up. And I didn't see it. The biggest loser to me of all, um, Vegas. Those other summer leagues are where everybody plays at. And then they show up to Vegas and they get shut down immediately.
What
They play.
we need to talk about what happened to Summer League.
It's because they have a million of them. So you play in the California Classic or you play in Salt Lake or I don't think Orlando exists anymore, but like
Mm.
you play in these early ones and you get like 2 or 3 games and you get to Vegas and they're like, yo, you have 4 games in 5 days. You play in one or two and then they shut them down. And to me, I mean, for one, I've always kind of thought this. I don't believe a Cooper Flag needs to play in summer league at all. But if you're gonna do something, let's do it. I would rather you just say, "Hey, I'm not playing."
I'm with you. It was the reemergence of the California League and the Salt Lake City League baffled me a little bit because Vegas didn't used to be everybody. I think even up until 2017, 2018, like that kind of range. The one year when Lonzo was there and it was like an event
Mhm.
was when they like fully went in on like this is summer league.
Yeah,
This is summer league. And everyone had thought of, when they thought of summer league, they thought of Vegas,
yeah.
but all the teams weren't there. They still had the other ones, and then they made it where all 30 teams were going to be there. And there, I think, was a year or two where there were no other summer leagues, and it was an event. It had everybody playing in it. And then, to your point, guys aren't playing. They're playing one game, not playing hard. They're not. It's not being promoted the same kind of way by ESPN or the NBA, really. I think Summer League was in such a cool spot where it had this unique place in basketball
Hmm.
that was awesome and repeatable and some like an opportunity to really take hold of. And it like killed itself.
Yeah, I think some of it is NIL too. Um, I think the place for Summer League is it's one last time to watch your favorite player. One last time to watch Coleman Hawkins play, right?
Mhm.
Maybe not one last time. Maybe he gets more opportunity, but like one last time to watch an RJ Davis or a Caleb Love or some of these guys you've become enamored with over years within college. Like this is your one last opportunity because they will, you know, ain't nobody watching G League, man. Like, let's just be honest. I'm not tapped into the Iowa Stampede. I don't even know if that's a real team, but like, and I'm not watching basketball in Europe either. And so it's like one last time to watch your favorite players, and we got away from that because not only are the best players not playing, some of these guys aren't either because we're bringing over guys like in respectfully, Darius Baisley was going to be one of my losers too, not because he actually was. I thought Darius Baisley was phenomenal, sensational. Not just through the California Classic, but early in Vegas, and hopefully his injury isn't serious because I think Baisley was getting ready to play himself back into the league.
Mhm.
But we're the summer league has been is a lot of those guys now, where it's
Yeah.
just like, and those guys are just respectfully a lot more talented than the fifth year senior who didn't pan out.
This year, and I do not mean this disrespectfully because it's going to be taken that way, and I don't mean it that way. But this year's Summer League felt much more TBT-ish
Hmm.
than NBA-ish.
Yes. Yes.
And that is not a good thing.
Yeah, the idea is this is almost the NBA. You
Right.
know
Or
what
you're fighting for the NBA. And there are some guys like Baisley who you see that with. There's young guys trying out. This felt much more like we're putting a roster together for this thing.
and some of that I think is NIL where like guys are sticking around in college longer. Some
Mhm.
of it is the new NBA CBA where it's like you have to save money and you don't necessarily want guys playing in this because you'd rather just give them a cheap contract, save money,
Yeah.
get underneath the apron, and you buy yourself time. So I think it's just a combination of where both brands of the sport are at. And both brands are have never been more protective of their own product.
Yes.
And before the two products meshed well together, and they're separating at the moment. And Summer League was the middle ground that was the byproduct of that mesh. And now with the two separating, there's nothing left for Summer League really to be. And to be fair, I do want to point out, like, the summer league was never like crazy, crazy competitive. It was just something we loved because, like, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
J.R. Smith got bored in 2012 or 2013. I don't remember what year it was, and pulled up the summer league and treated it like a pro-am. Uh, and so you can't convince me summer league has a high level competitive brand of basketball, but it used to have a brand of basketball we loved, and
Yes.
it doesn't have that anymore. And I think it's because the two entities have never been more protective of themselves. And I think they're actually trying to fight against each other at the moment. I don't think it's hurting either product for what it's worth because college has never been in a better place. The NBA has never, in my opinion, is it never been in a worse place, but that has nothing to do with college. It's because they chose to sign a stupid CBA.
Make Summer League great again. Make Summer League great again. One big thing presented by the good folks at YouTube Compliance. Very compliant. Even though Greg and Card aren't here, us snappers, we are very compliant.
Always compliant. One big thing for me, sympathy. Never forget sympathy, forgiveness, so on and so forth for the next person by you. I think it's always important to treat everybody as if you're equals within anything you're doing.
Very nice. I'm going
Nice.
life lessons in a different direction. Um, I read you remember reading The Rainbow Fish growing
Maybe,
up?
maybe. Do
I
you have
read
a
The
copy
Rainbow.
of it?
It is in our bookshelf over there, but I read The Rainbow Fish to my son last week because he picked it out and wanted to read it. And I remember growing up it being this great idea because the if you have not read Rainbow Fish or it's been decades since you've read Rainbow Fish, the idea is this rainbow fish has shiny scales that make him special. And all the other fish want a scale, and he doesn't want to give any to them, so he doesn't have friends. And then he starts giving his shiny scales to the fish, and The fish love him, and he finds happiness because he has friends. Growing up, like, oh yeah, sharing, all that stuff's great. I'm reading this to him, and in my mind, I'm like, this is the 30 for 30 on how athletes go broke. This is how athletes go broke, is they share their shiny scales and then have nothing left for themselves. And they have friends and they're happy, but they're broke.
Good news, athletes make like 300 million now. So
It's true. But I'm sitting there and it's like he goes to this wise octopus and he's like, yeah, give them your thing. I'm like, okay, I have all these friends now, but I just sat there and I was like, this is a tale about like, yeah, you make lots of money. Let's share it all with your friends, and then you'll have friends and be happy. Not
I
all
mean,
these not all these hanger-ons that are trying to exploit you.
hey, listen, you gotta share with the right people at the end of the day. It sounds like Rainbow Fish was sharing with the wrong fish.
Rainbow fish was sharing with all the fish in the sea.
Mm, mm.
People
It's
who
tough.
people the fish would come up to Rainbow Fish and say, "Rainbow Fish, can you please give me one of your shiny scales? You have so many shiny scales. I would just like one."
I love that this turned into you telling your son, if you get rich, don't give anything to anybody.
I'm like, this is how athletes go broke.
Such a,
Is they
such
have
a-
hangers on who are like, you have so much, just give me one.
if you make the NBA be as selfish as possible.
Selfish, selfish as possible. Don't share your shiny scales. That's my one big thing. Have a good Monday.